Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Life Coach Jeff, coming to you, man, with another episode of the Redirect, Regroup, Refocus podcast. Man, listen, how is everybody doing today? Listen, I know that maybe you had a rough start to the week, maybe you're just trying to get over hump day, So allow Life Coach Jeff Relevant to help you get over hump day because today we are gonna have some great conversation. Um, I really want to talk about a topic that really needs to be discussed more. I did a Facebook post about it, people, and let it hit the social media. And I want to talk about love today. That's what I want to talk about. Showing love. I want to share with y'all the stages that I've shared, and I want to let y'all know that to me, what I feel is the universal way to show love. And feel free to chime in. Y'all can tap in, let me know what y'all actually think about it, the whole nine, because I'm telling y'all, love is a topic of conversation that we definitely need to talk about. So we're going to go ahead and get it started. But y'all know how I go, man. I have to let y'all know where we at, what we do, and how we roll. So, boom, baby, we are here at the Vibe Studios here at 2075 Rush Place here in Lake Station, Indiana. Come on now, man. Listen, man, it consists of Ron Reed of the VNO, what you know, myself, Life Coach Jeff of Redirect, Regroup, Refocus, Smooch Wallace, who was Smooch Wallace, baby? If you don't know him, please get to know him. And also Mary Selena K of Rock Truth Radio. So we make up the Vibe Studios 219, baby. If you need your podcast or your radio show produced, we are here for you. And we also have R3 Radio coming out of here as well. So R3 Radio is my personal station that I've devoted to make for you all. It's not for me, but it's for y'all. And I'm going to soon have signups so y'all can do this. Y'all be able to go ahead. And if you want to inquire about having your own radio slot for R3 Radio, I will have a link set up, website, the whole nine, so we can get it started. So y'all tap in, man. Vibe Studios 219. We are doing some deep things here, some great things. So without further ado, y'all, I want to jump right into this topic of love for today. The reason why I want to choose love is because, you know what, it's something we do all the time. It's something that we kind of often take for granted. And when we take love for granted, what we tend to do is we tend to just think we're showing people things and we're doing things for people. And we take that as love, we take that as love. But what I want to talk about today with this portion of love is I want to know what it means to each and every one of y'all out there, because I want to share with y'all real quick what I believe love is. I believe love has no conditions to it. I believe it is possible to be selfless with love. What's up, Nikki girl? How you doing? And also, y'all, we broadcasting live from R3 Radio too. But yes, I gotta let y'all know that. But I want to let y'all know what love is. I believe love is something that's unconditional. I believe love is selfless. I believe love is one of those things that if you love somebody, you accept them for who they are. And one of the biggest tests to that for me is marriage. And I want to let y'all know that. Nino, you already know, brother. We're going to talk to him today, man. I'm sorry, y'all, we missed out on Monday for me doing that live, but we had a great show with Blake, man. If y'all know who Blake is, check in with Blake, man. He is a great artist, young artist who's doing big things out here. And so, yeah, I'm telling y'all, man, I believe love is unconditional. I believe love, it doesn't keep a record of fault. I really do believe that. I believe with love, you have to train your mind and you have to train your emotions to get to a point to where I don't want to say tolerate. Tolerate sounds like a very strong word, a very loud word to use right now. But you have to get to a point to yourself where you're able to be in the same room with people and not look at their faults. What's up, Nanette? What's good, girl? How you been? Tap into this conversation, man. I'm trying to talk about love for real today. I need y'all to really tap into this because, this is a subject. This is something that I've been really looking at lately of what really love is. And like I said earlier, the thing that's really taught me that and showed me that was marriage. And I really want to let y'all know what I've learned. And let's see if y'all can get a little bit from that. So the reason why I said I believe love is unconditional, because when you choose to go ahead and have somebody into your life, and the biggest commitment out of this is marriage, people. So let's not Let's not bog this down. The biggest commitment out of this, when I really feel that you're showing love to somebody, is through marriage. And I believe love is unconditional because when you love somebody truly, you go through that thick and thin with them. You go through those ups and downs. You learn how to just deal with certain actions that people do towards you. Now, what I mean by that is, y'all, I'm not saying that if somebody constantly cussing you out, beating you, abusive to you, that's not love. That's not love. What I'm talking about if somebody just does something that irks you, you know, if somebody does something that just really can get on your nerves sometimes or get under your skin, you learn to know that it's just that particular person, you know. You learn to start understanding that, okay, this person, they have attributes, they have traits that are different from me. So when you start really paying attention to how somebody moves, you say, okay, look, I can deal with A, B, C, X, Y, and Z. I can deal with that. And you even start to think, correct me if I'm wrong, people, you even start to look at this and say, you know what? The things that I thought were deal breakers that normally would be with certain people, if that person tends to do it, maybe it's not a deal breaker for me, you know, because you're learning that that is what that person just happens to come along with, you know. I always tell people my wife has taught me a lot of things, and what I have learned is how to take the small things and the things that I think are big. That it ain't really that big, yo. A lot of times it's just dealing with it internally. I'm gonna let y'all know how I operate real quick. A lot of times, what I tend to do is, I don't have time to talk about what somebody else is doing to me or keep nitpicking at those things, unless it's just literally a scab that itches and I'm picking. But rarely do I do that. And I want to tell y'all why I choose to do that. And I hope it's something that we can all start to adopt or just kind of pull from and learn, and you do it your own specific way. Is because I feel that a lot of stress can come from trying to fix, and I use this term and I use this word, fix, very harshly here, because sometimes with a person, you can't fix certain issues that go on with them if it's a part of them. If it's not causing any harm to you, if a person's not being disrespectful to you, if they're not doing anything to cause any craziness in your life, I'm here to tell you, people, sometimes it's okay. We have to learn how to adapt to people. We have to learn how to not be so sensitive to things that we either do get or we don't get from people, from people. And I strongly believe that we all have the capability to be selfless in love. I'm not saying give your all and run yourself ragged. Now, that's what we can tend to do as people. We tend to give to a person. And when we give to somebody, what tends to happen is that we overexert ourselves and we become exhausted, right? We've all been there. Lord knows I have been there. I have been there. But you get to a point to where you accept people. True acceptance. I'm telling y'all, true acceptance. And I believe true acceptance of someone is looking at something that might bother you, might irk you, and saying, you know what, I'm good. I'm good. I'm all right. You know what? Maybe what I'm dealing with right now, this ain't that deep. Maybe what I tend to look at here in this particular situation, maybe I'm wanting more out of the situation than what a person is willing to give me. It's not that somebody's incapable. I believe that we're all capable of trying, at least trying to give people what they want or what they desire, right? I believe we're all capable of trying to do it. But I also know for a fact that through life and through relationships with people, you are not always going to get what you want 100% of the time. You just won't. I'm sorry to break it to you people. I understand that Disney has fed us a fantasy type of lifestyle, or different movies have done that to us. They've given us a certain fantasy of us. Let's just say a lot of the movies, for instance, they have it always where a woman is going through something. And then the man goes ahead, he's talking all nice, he dresses well, he smells good, he pops up out of nowhere. And then what happens is they end up being together. But we often tend to forget the circumstances that happened in that movie. 9 times out of 10, when we look at a lot of these romantic movies, they all have a certain premise with them. And when I say the woman is down and out and she's going through something, normally she is either with somebody already or married. Now, see, that was something I had to pay attention to a lot of these different movies. That was something I had to pay attention to. A lot of our love stories that we talk about, that we look at so much, like even The Notebook. I have watched The Notebook. Look, y'all don't talk about it, brother. I have watched it. Even with that, the love story that it was involved with, it was a beautiful story, great story. But you have to remember, old girl was already with somebody. She was married. You look at the Titanic. The Titanic. We love that movie so much. We talk about it, how Leonardo DiCaprio played such a great role in this particular movie. But what happened? In the love story, old girl was taken. She was already married with somebody. So when we start looking at these trends of movies, trends of these fantasies per se, that are given to us through Hollywood or other different TV shows or premises, that they come up with these certain schemes to say, you know what, this is true love. Love ain't breaking up a home. Love ain't stopping two people from trying to work on their issues that they have going on within their household. It's nice to think that someone can save us from all the tyranny that we go through when we're in the relationships. But how come we just don't deal with some of this stuff on our own? Let's see what Nikki says. Nikki says, actually, they were engaging technically. And they were. And I'm not going to lie, girl. I'm going to hit you with that. For real. They were definitely engaging. They were definitely engaging stories. But when you look at that premise and you look at what, you be like, oh, that's so beautiful. Sometimes we have to look at what we glorifying, but I ain't gonna hold you, girl. Yes, they were most definitely engaging. Because if it wasn't engaging, I would not have watched it either. I would never watch them either. And so that's how I feel about it. And I feel that love can come unconditionally. I do believe that. I believe love comes unconditional over time. Like I said, you have to literally train your brain to see the good in somebody. Excuse me. I'm going to be honest when I say this. I've had to literally train my brain to not focus on what I believe. What I believe internally is bad. How many of us can do that? How many of us can literally sit across from the person we say we love and not focus on the bad, that what we think is bad in what they give us? Because I'm gonna tell y'all that's it's not a easy thing, but I feel, I'm not gonna say that if you love somebody, this is what you're gonna do. If you're willing to show love, that is what you are willing to do. Ooh, okay. See, sometimes we have to change our terminology too, people. We have to change our terminology. Stop using phrases like, if you love me, you'll do this. No, if you'll show love, according to the Bible and the God, which I tell you we follow on our show here, according to the Bible and the God, if you show love, that's what's going to actually go ahead and give you something back in return. What I mean by you showing love, sometimes showing love will give you peace. Sometimes showing love will stop you from going crazy. Because showing love shows that you have, we always like to use these terms like emotional intelligence, correct? So let's bring it to 2025 when we're talking about emotional intelligence. When you're truly able to show love to somebody, showing love, not saying, oh, I'm in love with you, not saying I'm in love with you, not actually being the act of falling in love, but I'm talking about showing true love to somebody. What it does is it allows you to be at peace with who you're with. It allows you to accept people for who they are. It allows you to see not the bad, but to also go ahead and see when somebody does an action for you, maybe, just maybe, that might be a way that they show love. And the only reason why it doesn't make sense to you is because you've never witnessed it being given to you in that way before. A lot of us, we live our lives and we are in these in relationships with people, whether we're married or boyfriend and girlfriend or engaged, however you want to put it. Um, a lot of us haven't been shown love. And I'm not going to say correctly because everybody uh, shows love differently. I feel from person to person, you have to be able to recognize how people show love to you. What I've also learned is how people show love, it's never going to come in the form of what you want it to. So what I mean by that is if you have a demand, if you have a certain request, sometimes you have to be okay with getting let down from you having that request. Now, people, now when I say this, it's not to say that somebody is a bad person. Because we, again, if we're going to talk about these things, we have to change the narrative about how we think about these things. What I was trying to say earlier, why I kind of got a little tripped up when I was talking earlier, trying to complete the thought. Because I had another thought going on in my head, and it just kind of came back to me now. The Bible says, out of all the commandments, the greatest of these is love. And if you love, you've completed all the commandments. Now, we only have 10. Thou shalt not kill, steal, covet, bear false witness. Uh, the whole 9. I can't name them all right now, but we only have 10. There's more commandments there. But Jesus is telling people that's the example to live by, just one of the many examples to live by. But I love how that's quoted because it makes a lot of sense. If you show love, you've completed all the commandments. You've done all the commandments. So this is why I say we have conditions, 10 conditions, more than 10 conditions that we are to follow. But all we have to do is one action. One action. Did y'all ever think about that? Let's let that sink in for just a moment. Let's let that sink in for just a moment. Out of all the commandments that are there, or you can call them rules, or you can call them ways to live by. Out of all of those ways to live by, we only have to do one of those actions, and that's just love. Now, I believe we tend to taint love and tarnish it when we start having requests. And what I mean by having requests is by saying things like, if you love me, you'll do this. Now, who said if somebody loves you, they were going to do this specific thing for you? Who has actually said that to you? Because guess what? Once you say, you know what, I love you, I'm going to do this thing, now that becomes an expectation. And with that expectation, this is why I mean, there has to be some type of way of developing unconditional love. There has to be a way to do it. I'm seeing that now. I'm understanding that now. I've understood that for quite some time. I guess, it was just something that was going on internally. I didn't know really what it was. But you have to be willing to show unconditional love. And it is possible. It is possible. Some people might be on the other end, either listening or watching and thinking to themselves, Jeff, you might be wrong. Well, have you actually tried it? That's what I ask you. If I'm willing to tell you that there is a chance that love can be unconditional if you just show it. I'm gonna tell you, the only way unconditional love can exist is if you continuously show love to people. I know I didn't hit y'all. I know I hit y'all with a little something right now. I know I gave you a little something to think about. But the only way unconditional love can be achieved is if you actually show love to people. And I believe sometimes that's what we're missing, people. That's what we're missing. We're missing the simple action of just showing love to people, regardless of how we're treated by people. Somebody can cuss me out today, but you know what? I'm still going to show you love, because the act of showing love allows you to gain some peace. Did y'all ever think about that? The act of you showing love to people allows you to have peace internally. I'm trying to tell y'all, I want to help y'all with a little something today, because I already know that is an issue. That is we like to talk about epidemics or pandemics. I'm gonna tell you something. Us showing love in this country to one another, us showing love around this world is a pandemic. It is an epidemic with people, because our hearts are so hardened to want what we want, to desire what we desire, to only need what we need, that sometimes we don't humble ourselves enough, and myself is included in that. I've been in instances and times when I hadn't humbled myself enough. And after I sat back and I looked at, or had my quote unquote list of demands of what I particularly wanted, I said to myself, you know what? Everything is actually okay. That's what I said to myself. Everything is actually okay. So I know this is a rough one for some of y'all. I know this is a tough one for some of y'all, because what I'm doing is I'm just asking you and I'm challenging you to look at love in a different light. I'm asking you to look at love in a way to where you can stop asking and receiving, but start showing. Start showing. That's all it is. And I also want to say this too. When you're in a relationship, what's up, Felice? What's good with you, girl? Chime in on this conversation about love, girl. I'm sitting up here trying to let the people know just some different stages of love, just some different things with love, how to show it. That's what I'm really on right now, because I'm very big on that. I feel that if you show love to people, you can attain some type of peace within yourself. Because if you're able to show love to people, I don't believe that means that you're used to people walking all over you. You're used to people just taking advantage of you. No, you just show love to people. Show love without looking or wanting anything in return. I know I just dropped the ball right there for people. I know that. I know that's a tough one for some people to go ahead and get. Because oftentimes we always want something back. I believe the term is reciprocity, people. Reciprocity. It's that if you put something out, you're expecting that same thing in return. Reciprocity. There you go. Now y'all can use that. You want it reciprocated back to you. But what do you do when that love is not reciprocated back to you? And again, I'm not talking about anything abusive, people. I'm talking about the little things that we look at every single day. And we expect, just because we tied a knot with somebody, we expect just because somebody went ahead and we decided to get into a relationship with somebody, we expect someone to continuously do these things over and over with little to no error. I might add, with little to no error. So the question I have for each and every one of you, and I've asked myself this question: what do you do when somebody doesn't give you what it is that you want? Let's see. What did you say? Monix, you said, oh, okay, I see you. Expecting something back is a tough deal. And it is. I'm gonna be very honest with you. When you expect something back from somebody, that is a tough one, because if you don't receive it, you are setting yourself up for some pain. You are setting yourself up for some hurt. That's why I said sometimes you just got to accept people as they are and understand how they can love you back. Okay, what did you say, Felice? Felice said, I am in, okay, I don't know the sign, girl. I don't know the sign that you put in there. I'm not good with the zodiac. Maybe you could type that out in the comment for brother. I'm not good with the zodiac. But you are a sign. And he said, we are born humanitarians. We live to show, give love regardless if it's reciprocated. And you know what? And that's good. That's great. And okay, you an Aquarius. All right, I'm a water sign too, girl. I'm a Pisces. There it is. 2 fish. There it is. So I get that. You know, I understand it. And this is to say, people, we're not trying to say people that this is something we're just adaptable to do. We're not saying that it's easy for us to do. What we're actually trying to say is that this is a practice. I know I'm saying it. I'm saying that this is a practice that should be adopted. It is a hardcore practice. And I say hardcore practice because what I'm asking people to do is step outside of their comfort zone. That's what I'm asking everybody to do. Step outside of your comfort zone of what you actually believe love is to you. Have you thought about it? Have you thought about your quote unquote requirements? Oh, it's an air sign, girl. All right. Hey, I'll be messing up. I don't know, girl. I don't keep up with all the zodiac. Girl, correct me, please. Thank you. But yeah, you know, it's just one of those things. You know, you have to, you truly have to be liquid in this. Oh, look at all the water references. You truly have to be liquid. You have to kind of go with the flow sometimes. And again, people, when I say go with the flow, I'm not saying if somebody is doing something bad to you or detrimental. That's not what I mean. I'm saying a lot of times we look at things and we tend to think these things are very, 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 very heavy in our lives. But when you actually sit back and you think about it, sometimes these things aren't as heavy as we think. Now, everybody's different from person to person. I'm just here to kind of jog your perspective a little bit. I'm not here to change you. You know, if this ain't for you right now, you can go ahead, watch something else, or flip to another radio station. I'm cool with that. But just sit down and think about it, yo. And how do other people show love to you? Let's say, for instance, you can want affirmation from people all day and every day. Real talk. You can want affirmation from people all day and every day. But what if the person shows love to you by simply cooking you dinner, asking you how your day was, giving you those small, simple things, right? Giving you those small, simple things. I tend to think that maybe, just maybe, could it be, people, that we don't focus on the simpler things in life? We don't focus on the small things that people do for us. Because granted, yeah, that counts too. Those simple things. Yes, that counts too. Those simple things. Because I promise you, those small, simple things will turn into things that you appreciate. You never want to be one-sided to where you're always able to look at more negative things in a person than the positive. I strive every day to get up in the morning and to see what I could do. She said, go. Ha ha. Felice, you funny. She said, go ahead. I'll love you forever because I can't cook. Well, hey, it's one of those things, girl. Because people do it a different way. And you know what, Felice? You might not be able to go ahead and cook, Felice. You might just be able to just go ahead and order out a meal for somebody. You know, you might know what somebody likes. And if you fulfill that, that might work for you. What does the net say? The net says the 3 F's: feed and finance. And y'all know the last one. Y'all know the last one, people. Y'all know it. Y'all know that last F. I appreciate that one, Net. That's real talk, for real. And what does Monix say? I'm not trying to get people to be something that they are not. And see, Monix, and that's true. And that's part of it, Monix. Real talk. You know, you can't change. Showing true love is not trying to change somebody. not trying to mold them into the person that you would want them to be. Because I just believe so much in my heart that we are capable of doing this thing. I know that we are capable of just being able to love people and to just love them without any restraints, without wanting anything in return, without having a list of demands or things that are deal breakers for us, which I understand there are some deal breakers. I get it. But I'm talking about once we actually get in the thing, once we actually get in the thing and we start to work it. I feel that we could go ahead and we can work through these issues if we change the posture of our hearts. Real talk. If we change the posture of our hearts. And I know what I know for a fact, what I am requesting from people, what I'm trying to challenge people with today is going to be a tough one. Because as humans, we want what we want. We do. We want what we want. We want how we want it to be, the way that is structured, that will best fit our needs. And when something is out of whack, what do we tend to do? Majority of the time, we're going to complain. That's what we're going to do. Majority of the time, we're going to complain. What does Monik say? If we are with someone for a reason that they haven't shown us, we might need to get checked out. Break that down a little bit more, sir. You said if we are with someone for a reason that they haven't shown us, we might need to get checked out. You mean talking about we might be crazy? What you mean, brother? Like it's not for us? Like kind of dive into that a little bit more, because I would love to go ahead and really talk about that comment for real. Maybe I'm not reading it slow enough. I don't know, brother. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. But yes, I know that this heart posture thing is something that is tough for us to work out, and we are all a part of this generation. And I want to say all of us because we're adopting the same things at the same time. Some might move a little bit slower than others. Where it used to be when I was younger, the older people used to tell me, "Oh, it's insane to do that." Yes, okay, brother. Yes. Yes. If we are with someone for a reason that they haven't shown us, that's true. We are insane for that. You are correct, sir, because people are going to show you who they are. People are going to show you who they are. And that is why I say, people, that is why, for this particular reason, that is why I say, when you love people, just show the love. It's as simple as that. Just show the love. Because if you show love to people, there are some people that things just come a little bit hard to them. And I'm not saying that these things it's what I mean by a little bit hard is that they gonna try. You'll see some progression. They gonna try, and they gonna keep trying. You know, some people. I know some people who need to be more emotional when it comes to things. Like, what I mean by more emotion, I know people who are in some marriages and who are in some relationships where no emotion is being showed at all. Like, you go to give them a hug and like they looking at you like, why you touching me? Like that's different. That's wild. I kind of feel that when your heart is correct, and what I mean by your heart being correct is you also dealing with things that you have dealt with too. Your pain, your hurt that people have brought onto you, which requires you not to show love to other people. Because let's be honest, people, there's some stuff that we have been through that makes it harder for us to show love to people. And what we do is we put that on other people. And then when we put that on other people, we flip it, and then we expect somebody to love us in a specific type of way because we didn't get that. But did it ever occur to you, if you just show it, you just might get the same love shown back? Grace for grace, people. Let's be real. Grace for grace. Some people will go ahead and show you grace just because you simply showed them grace. Some people will treat you with respect because you treated them with respect. Some people will just show you love because you simply showed them love. I'm telling you, man, I could talk about this. Man, I got another whole 25 minutes. I can keep talking about this because this is something that I have strived to do. I'm gonna give y'all a little background about me. Monix know the story. Some other people know the story. I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but I was previously married. And when I was previously married, I was with this woman for 10 years. We were married for 3. And what I learned after that was, Jeff, you go with the flow a lot with things, but what you've learned to do is you've learned to adapt. You've learned to just be okay and be content with certain things. Because a lot of times, again, when we don't get what we want, people, we want to pout. We want to say, you should be doing this. I'm going to tell you something. Nobody don't have to do nothing for you. Nobody does. Even if you're married to them. Because we are human people. Nobody ain't got to do nothing for you. Somebody can look you bold in your face and tell you, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and give you this $20 today. But they don't have to do it. So let's put it in the perspective of love. You know what? Because I love you, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to make sure that this bed is made up every day for you. Since I love you, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make sure I cook breakfast for you every morning. I'm going to make sure I have your lunch ready always at the table right before you go to work. I'm going to make sure that the kids are taken care of every night to show you I love you. So again, people, what happens when these quote unquote conditions, because now we're talking about conditional love, what happens when these quote unquote conditions are not met? We can't get so comfortable that we're not willing to adapt. We can't get so comfortable that we lose sight of what really maintaining a good level, and I mean, I'm telling you, a good level of acceptance for people really requires. A lot of us say we accept people, but sometimes we don't. Sometimes we have issues with people. Sometimes we have problems with them, even the ones that we love. Sometimes we have issues and problems with the ones that we love. But I'm here to tell you, sometimes you have to take the high road and you have to love and you have to show some grace. For my people that believe in G-O-D and the B-I-B-L-E in the house, if you believe that higher power or God or Yah or whatever you choose to call the energy or whatever it is, once again, I refer to the G-O-D because it comes out of the B-I-B-L-E. And could it be that if God is able to show you love unconditionally, and what I mean by unconditionally is because grace cancels that out. And I know that is a deeper discussion. It's something that's not to be abused, but let's just put yourself in that same heart space of you doing that, of you providing unconditional love for somebody. And whenever they mess up, you have to go back to them because that's what you're supposed to do. At some point in time, the conditions will turn into unconditional. Because again, as it says, for us, out of the greatest of these commandments is love. And if you love, you've done all the commandments. So just put that into perspective. If we're looking at God, and he the one at the top, let's put it into perspective, people, the one at the top. It's different because God is granting blessings and everything like that. Even at times when even when we're reading the Bible, we are looking at everything is with a condition of doing one thing or another. But guess what? It's the little things. You still have breath in your body. You're still able to get around. And I'm telling you, these things sound so cliche, but if we just sit down and we actually think about it and we look into it within ourselves, and I'm telling you to look within yourself. If we look within ourselves and we start to appreciate the things that are just around us. What my man say? Hold on. Okay, hold on, Monix. I see it popped up. Understand first that the unconditional love is an act and not a feeling. And that is true too, sir. That's it. It's an act. It's an act. The only way that you are able to show love, because you got to show, you got to do some internal work in order to show it externally. So that's why I say we have to reprogram this up here to know what our definition of love is, to know that when people do things to us or show us certain things, maybe they're not doing it because of malicious intent. We always want to look at things and we always want to say we're hurt all the time, right? We always want to talk about how somebody hurt us, how somebody did something to us. But even I had to learn, you know what? Can we pay attention to what somebody is actually saying? And if we leave the emotion out of it at times, I'm not saying all, but just get into a habit of at least trying to leave some of the emotion out at times, right? So maybe we can hear people a little bit better. We can hear them. We can understand them a little bit more. Because that means to show love, that means you have to strip some things out that you would normally do. You have to make yourself a little uncomfortable to see something in another person's point of view. You have to make yourself a little uncomfortable. You might have to agree with something that you don't agree with. You might have to believe in something for a brief moment that somebody else might believe in, just to kind of see and understand what they're saying. And Monica said unconditional means without condition, meaning I don't stop loving you because you did something wrong. Exactly. Yes, sir. See, yes, I was talking good earlier. And yes, sir, I stemmed on that. Yes. And that's what it is. Just because somebody does something unfavorable to you and you don't like it, or you believe that it's wrong, you don't stop loving them. But I say this, you don't stop showing love to them just because. Because we use the term love very loosely nowadays. We use the term love very loosely. And I believe if we show more love and if we learn how to show love to people, then you will actually understand what love is. Again, if we reprogram this, one good one, we have to reprogram the mind just a tad bit, to stop, like I said earlier, to stop looking at movies, to stop looking at videos, to stop looking at how other people portray how love should be to us. But if you actually look within and you say, you know what, let's just go ahead and see what that means internally, how we should show it first. And then we can have a true definition of what love truly is. Because it is an action and it's not a feeling. It's not a feeling. You're right, big dog. Love is not a feeling. And that's how we get caught up, like I said earlier, into saying, if you love me, then you'll do this for me. No. People can love you and mess up sometimes. People can love you and screw up sometimes. It's very possible. It happens all the time. You talk to people who've been married 30, 40, 50 years. You trying to tell me that all of that was perfect? No. Not in my house. Not perfect at all. What did my man say? I think when people say love, they mean horny. Hey, man, I'll be honest with you, Monix. Some people do mean that. And now we're on a whole different conversation of lust, big dog. That's a whole nother territory right there. You know what I mean? Oh, man, we might have to say that. We might have to have you come through the shop, sir. We might have to come. I'll come through your shop at Shop Talk 7, and you can come through my shop and sit right in this chair right here. We can have this conversation, big dog, because it's a very interesting one to be had. I know we got the Love Jones coming up with the collab. My man is another part of the collab. Shout out to Media Monix, D. Smith, RMF, Dr. J, and myself. We make up the collab in the house. This is what we do. We just 5 men with a mission. That mission is just to spread some word, man, through our thoughts, through our behaviors, to just show men how men really are. You know, that's how we roll. You know, so that's how it is. You know, big dog. That's how we roll. There we go. So yeah, I really hope that throughout this time period today, um, I got about 10 minutes and I'll wrap it up here. 10 minutes and I'll wrap it up. I just hope through this period here that what we have learned is that things don't always have to be perfect to be good. Things don't always have to be perfect to be enjoyed. Maybe if we focus on not perfection. Mine is you funny, man. He said the sport of love, sex is a sport. Yes. And we probably might touch on that when we pay attention to the sport of love. We're calling it the sport of love when the collab gets together, people, because what we're doing is it's around that Super Bowl time. So we, keeping it in that whole sport of love or Love Jones effect. The whole nine. Y'all know what it is, people. Y'all know what it is. But maybe, back to the point, maybe if we stop focusing on perfection from people because we want to mold them into who we want them to be for us. Maybe if we fix our hearts to just try to see how we should be showing love to people, maybe we might get some better out of it. And it takes time. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you that it's something that's going to come extremely easy to you. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not going to tell you that it's going to come particularly easy. I'm not going to tell you that it's going to come very quick. No, these things take time. It takes time for you to really know a person. We always say, do you really know a person? Nobody really shares everything or all of everything with you. That's something to really think about. Not in a negative way, but if you approach it with love, those things that get revealed to you, you'll learn how to deal with them more and more in time. So the thing that irked you will just be, that's just how they are. We all do it. We roll our eyes and we keep moving. It's something that's not going to stop production. It's something that's not going to stop the time clock because you didn't fulfill a need that I didn't think you could. So all I'm saying is, people, let's just take some time to go ahead and rethink what we're doing. Let's take some time to just go ahead and really pay attention to those things that when we start talking about love, for real, when we start talking about love, let's not use the term so loosely. Let's not use the term so loosely. Let's not let's really think about what that means. I'm telling you, I have learned and I am growing with that. And I'm learning that when you truly love, and you're not keeping a record of the fault. You're not keeping a record of what the person does to you in a way where it's malicious. You're not keeping record of it at all. When you're really trying to dive into the heart of a person, you really want to dive into who they are. That requires us to be at a different level. That requires us to make some upgrades and changes in our lives. And that also requires us to look into maybe how God would do it, maybe how Yah would do it, maybe how you would end up finding that love within yourself. Greater is he that is in me than he who is in the world. So just know that that peace that's within you, that God that's in you, that spirit that's in you is capable of showing love unconditionally, is capable of showing a selfless love. A selfless love is an unconditional love, people. We might have a hard time trying to grasp that concept. We might try to have a few talks and get deep with it, but a selfless love is a unconditional love. Because guess what? Selfless. You're removing self from it, and you're taking the time to actually accept the person for who they are. So, all right, y'all. I like that I said that there. So we just going to wrap it up right there, people. Listen, I thank each and every one of y'all for tuning in for today, man. This was great. I really appreciate the comments. I appreciate the listenership, the viewership, everything, man. We got some people that was listening from Germany to R3 Radio. We thank you. We got some people in Africa that's listening to R3 Radio. We thank you. We're going to keep marketing. We're going to keep promoting this thing. And it's going to get big, people. So, yeah, shouts out to Be Essential. I said it, Calhoun II. Shout out to Felice, Nino, Nikisha, Spiller, my man, Anthony Terrell, Monix, Nanette, and Yeah, that's all, people. Those are the shout outs that I have for today. Look, and I appreciate each and every one of y'all, and I love y'all so very much. And remember, people, redirect, regroup, refocus, and I love y'all in peace.